Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you are joining and wherever you are joining from. It's good to be with you today. Um, I wanted to talk today a little bit about continuation, I guess, of the conversation that we've been having around the kinds of experiences that you can have in meditation and some things that are important to know about meditation. So the last time that we gathered, I shared that there are no bad experiences in meditation. There's no right or wrong way to feel in meditation, and that meditation is natural and it's your birthright. And today, what I wanted to talk about are some categories of experiences with meditation that you might have. They are all natural and they're all beneficial, regardless of how you might feel about the meditation that you're having. So, the first experience that you might have in meditation is movement. And when your mind finally settles down in meditation and you actually relax the nervous system, you release stress, which can cause some different kinds of movement. You can have a movement of your mind, you can have movement of the body, or you can have movement of emotions. And you can have one of those things, you can have two, or you can have all of them in the same meditation. So, movement of the mind just looks like thoughts, might look like visions or colors, all natural. Movement of the body might look like any sort of physical sensations that you have. You might have a feeling of being warmer, or a feeling of tingling or twitching, even coughing. And even though with any sort of gyrations or movements of the mind, there isn't a direct correlation between what you're thinking about and the source of the stress, with the body, physical movement specifically, there is a connection. So if you are having, for example, I talked about coughing. So if you have coughing, what you might do is acknowledge the fact that you're coughing, that that's the area where the sensation or the movement is coming from, and then perhaps explore that. So you have three options really when you have something happen for you in meditation, whether it's a disturbing thought, an emotion, or a movement. You can ignore it and continue on with the meditation. You can explore it, or you can adjust or move mindfully to alleviate the sensation. So just notice what's happening for you physically, and then perhaps tend to that particular area of the body where there is some kind of physical movement coming up. And the movement of emotions is pretty natural. So things like crying, or feelings of anger or fear that might come up. It's just important to point out with this that there's no need to actually focus on that and try to figure out the cause of what's happening for you, the reason behind the emotion. You simply want to acknowledge the emotion and create some space around it instead of a story around it. So as the emotion comes up, noticing, wow, tears. I'm feeling tears, or I'm feeling anxious. And as that comes up, sitting with that emotion and allowing it to move through you without any kind of story. The second experience that you might have is, or might have already had in meditation, is sleep. So maybe your head is bobbing up and down at some point, or it might be hanging while you're meditating. Even though it feels like you're asleep, you're probably in a deep state of relaxation. And the body is not used to that when you're awake. So if you do fall asleep, which simply means that your body is tired, don't overthink it. What I would say is take the opportunity to actually sleep. And then maybe when you wake up, you might consider meditating, or if you fall asleep during the meditation and you really have no sense of awareness and you know that you were sleeping, then perhaps you add on a little bit of extra time at the end of your meditation. The last experience that you might have in meditation is transcendence. So we talked about transcendence a couple weeks ago in our group discussion after the meditation that we had. And with transcendence specifically, you are alert to what is going on, but you're relaxed and not in particular, not focused on anything in particular. And the difference between transcendence and sleep is your awareness. So when you're sleeping, as I said, you're in this dull state of awareness. So you're not really aware of anyone walking into the room or any noise. You really wouldn't hear that if you're sleeping. You could start to snore as an indicator that you're sleeping. But in a transcendent state, you are in this restful state, an expanded state of awareness, and you essentially lose track of the body and the outside world, even for a moment. It could be for a few minutes. You just never know what's going to happen in meditation. And the way I like to think of it is there's no I and there's no you. It's just in that moment, you have transcended any sort of subject object barrier. You've transcended time and space, and you're really one with the source of all of creation, or the field of awareness, or the void. Lots of people describe it in different ways. And sometimes it lasts, like I said, a second or two, and sometimes it can last a longer period of time. Unfortunately, you can't just make it happen. It is something that happens naturally. So for today, let's see what kind of experience that we might have today in meditation. We are going to practice something called the S.E.E.D meditation, which is a simple, easy, everyday meditation. It's a collection of small practices that we can put together in one meditation. And we'll start with a short mindful body awareness practice, and then we'll move into a heart-centered breath, perhaps a self-inquiry practice, and then some breath awareness. And if we have time, a mantra practice. Okay, so as you enter into meditation today, remember it's okay to have thoughts. Don't try too hard to have a certain experience, just have the one that you're having, whatever is happening for you today. Always, always be kind to yourself and stick with the practice, even if you find you're distracted. So we'll be meditating for about 20 minutes. I'll keep track of the time and we will begin. So as always, take the time to find a comfortable position that suits you, that allows you to let your practice unfold how it's naturally meant to unfold. Finding a seat that helps you be both alert and present. And once you've found that seat, you can go ahead and rest your hands at your sides or in your lap. And begin to deepen the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Allowing yourself to switch from your natural daily mode of doing to being with yourself in your own space. Letting go of anything that's to come and anything that might have just happened. Being here in this present moment. Begin to deepen the breath, taking 3 long, slow, and deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. In this moment, There's nowhere else to go or be. And you're safe. Letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and depth. Allowing your belly to be soft and receptive. And giving yourself permission to soften with the breath. You might tune in to the surface beneath you, the contact points between your seat and the chair, the cushion. Perhaps between your back and the support beneath you. And as you begin to go into a deeper state of relaxation, you might tune into any areas of the body that are sticky or tense. Perhaps drawing the breath to those locations in the body. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing the breath to circulate more freely. Noticing if there's ever so slightly a movement, an opening. You have the choice, as always, to explore, ignore, or shift whenever you feel a sensation in the body. We'll move into a gentle body awareness practice, mindfully scanning the body from head to toe with awareness. Moving to the crown of the head, noticing what sensations are present here. Perhaps a tingling or a warmth. Whatever you feel is natural. Welcoming everything as you begin to bring your attention to the forehead, your brows and your eyes. Softening, easing, and relaxing as you move your attention to the cheeks, into the jaw, releasing any tension in the neck, And as you move your attention to the shoulders, noticing, sensing into the feeling of the shoulders, and the arms connected to the shoulders. Moving your attention to your elbows, your forearms, and your hands. Releasing any tension, any holding or clenching. Allowing all the energy to move through the tips of the fingers. And bringing your attention now to the chest. Sensing into the area around the heart and into the heart itself. Moving your attention to the lungs and the belly. Noticing what it feels like for the breath to move in and out of this area with ease. Noticing your spine as it connects with the base of the skull all the way down to your seat and the tailbone. Relaxing your thighs and your calves, your knees. Moving all the energy through into your ankles, through the feet, and out through the toes. Becoming aware now of all the sensations in the body. Allowing the breath to circulate freely throughout. Noticing what the body feels like to be breathed. Welcoming everything, resisting nothing, and noticing. What is here for you today, in this moment? And bring your attention now to the gentle rise and the fall of the breath in the chest as new oxygen fills the lungs and releases through the nose and mouth. Tuning into the area behind your breastbone, your heart center. You might imagine your heart as this warm and bright, shining light radiating from the center of your being. If you're so inclined, you might bring your hands to your heart, tuning in to the light of your awareness, this energy emanating from you. You might imagine this is the radiance of your inner light increasing with every breath. With each breath, the light becomes brighter. We'll breathe like this for a few breaths. Now I'll invite some questions. And it's important not to worry about whether or not an answer comes, whether it meets the question right now. It might. But simply notice what arises in the space. I'll ask the question and you can repeat it to yourself silently a few times and see what might come into your awareness. The first question is, who am I? Who am I? Without words, thoughts. Who am I, this one looking through my eyes? This one witnessing the world around me. And then return to the stillness. Now let that question go and any answers that may have met it. And ask yourself, what is my true nature? What is my true nature? Asking yourself a few times and then releasing the question and returning to the stillness. Asking yourself now, what do I long for? What do I really, really want? My heart's desire. Asking yourself a few times and then releasing the question and returning to the stillness. And if an answer doesn't meet the question, there's no need to force anything. Simply embrace what is here for you now. Now, returning your attention to the breath, tuning in once again to how it enters and leaves the body, not trying to change it in any way, simply becoming mindful of the sensations and the movement of the breath. Noticing the sensations on the inhale as the breath moves through the nostrils, perhaps a coolness or a tingling. And then noticing what the breath feels like on the exhale, perhaps a warmth or a lightness. Simply let your breath draw your attention, moving into the body, moving out of the body. You might even be able to tune into the feeling or the sound of your heartbeat, your life force, the sound of being alive. We'll rest here for a few minutes and I'll keep track of the time. St. Patrick said, I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of sun, brilliance of moon, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of wind, depth of sea, stability of earth, firmness of rock. As our meditation draws to a close, I invite you to gradually and slowly deepen the breath. Perhaps bringing some gentle movements back into the body. You might wiggle the fingers or the toes. Perhaps swaying the body from left to right, stretching into the space around you. Deepening the breath. And when you're ready, you might gradually open your eyes, first with a downward gaze, and then up into the space around you, taking things in with fresh eyes, perhaps noticing something that you didn't notice before. I want to thank you so much for being with me today. The light in me honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. See you next time.